All right. Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday, which I know is a little odd to see this pair on a Thursday. However, things happen, life happens, schedule happens. But here we are. It is awesome to have my friend, my co host for Wednesday nights, and just all around great guy, Joshyboy. Josh, welcome back to your rightful place on the
Thank
other
you.
side of this thing with me. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been able to have you on,
Yeah, it's
but
been a
it's
while.
always a thrill for everyone, especially for me. Love chopping up ball and bets with you on a consistent basis. So
Thanks, man.
pleasure to have you back. So we've had a lot of football played in the last couple of weeks, and
Yeah,
def- definitely had some surprises. I think with the way some of this college football playoff has played out, and then the closing race the last couple of weeks, and especially the last week of the NFL season proved to be very compelling, and
yeah,
got some teams in there like Carolina. We were not expecting Carolina
yep,
to be. Everybody thought Tampa Bay won. They were in, and that's not how that played out. The
yeah.
Bears, the Bears have proven the regular season was not a fluke. They continue to be the cardiac kids, and now we're going to get to see the number one seeds get a test from their rightful opponents this week. So, Josh, I'm going to just open the floor up to you. You tell me
Okay.
where you want to start. Do you want to start with the NFL? Do you want to start with the college football playoff? You tell me, buddy, and we will go from there.
Well, I don't know. Well, the only game in college basketball I really wanted to talk about was the Kentucky Tennessee game. And I
Yep.
know a line usually doesn't drop until tomorrow afternoon, but I guess we could pretty much guess on a line. We can start with NFL first.
Okay. Well, let's do it. So NFL, let's just kind of go uh, down the TV slate schedule. So we're going to open
Okay.
up on Saturday. That's going to be a 4:30 East, 3:30 Central kick. The Buffalo Bills travel to the Mile High City to take on Bo Nix, Denver Broncos, the number one seed in the AFC. Josh, what are you seeing and liking in this one?
Well, I want to add a few thoughts before I got into the game. I know Buffalo taking down Jacksonville last Sunday, and I know pretty much going into the playoffs, everybody, Jacksonville was their Super Bowl darling to win the whole thing as a Cinderella team, and Josh Allen and the Bills pretty much said, nope, we are gonna take your Super Bowl darling down and go into Jacksonville and win. That was a pretty damn good game Sunday. But Buffalo versus Denver, we got Denver minus 1.5, over under set at 45.5, and money line Buffalo minus 105 and Denver minus 115. So I like three plays in this game. Think that is going to be Buffalo's only win last Sunday against Jacksonville. I like Denver in this game on the money line minus 115. I just think Denver at home, they're a really good home team, and I think they're going to make things much tougher for the Bills at home. And I know Denver is kind of like Chicago. They're a last possession at the end of the game team. I don't know how many times this season both teams have won on the last possession at the end of the game. And I like the under in this game as well as my second play, under 45.5. I think both defenses are going to lock down, especially Buffalo. The last few weeks of the season, Buffalo's defense has played really good, and Denver's defense has played really good all season long. So I like under 45.5 in that game. And Hammer, I like the player prop in this game as well. We are going to go, let's see, receiver prop, let's see, over under.
Well, it's got to be a Denver play because Buffalo doesn't have any receivers.
Yeah. I like Cortland Sutton over 55.5 yards minus 111. I just feel like Bo Nix, that's going to be his go-to guy attacking in the air Saturday. So I like Cortland Sutton over 55.5 receiving yards. Those are my 3 plays in that game. So do you have any plays in this game?
Yeah, I do. I'm with you on the under. I think it's going to be fairly low scoring. Denver, much like Chicago, they don't really start playing on the offensive side of the ball till the second half, sometimes even the fourth quarter. So, there may be some field goals traded in there. Buffalo might get in the end zone, but I don't see a lot of points in even the first half. And Denver notoriously doesn't score a lot in the first half. So I do like that under. I also have a player prop. I love Bo Nix rushing at 23.5 yards. I think he goes well over that. In fact, I think both of these quarterbacks are going to see some chunk plays on the ground. We all know Buffalo's offensive line at times will just basically pick Josh Allen up and carry him down the field. They've kind of taken over as the perfecter of the tush push this season, especially later in the season. If you watch that game, last week, Jacksonville they couldn't stop it, and it wasn't just a yard or two. Like Josh Allen was getting 5, 6, 9 yards, almost scored a touchdown with it. So I think both these quarterbacks will have some yards on the ground. I especially like Bo Nix is at at 23.5. I've been back and forth on this game. I think Peyton is definitely a better head coach. I think Denver's defense is considerably better than Buffalo's, although Buffalo did play well in that game against Jacksonville. But Josh, I'm a Josh Allen fan.
Yeah.
And I just think, man, as long as he's on the field, they've got a shot. And if Josh Allen is going to do it, it's got to be this year, right? Because there's no Patrick Mahomes. Yep. There's no Joe Burrow. There's no Lamar Jackson. Every obstacle that has been in Josh Allen's way for the past 6, 7 years is gone. So if he's going to do it, he's got to do it this season. And I just can't bet against Josh Allen. And I may be letting my heart get in the way of this more so. Making this play with my brain, but I just think this is it. This is Josh's window, and they've just got to figure out a way. And with Denver struggling at times to move the ball, we know it's going to be cold, and both these teams can thrive in that weather. I just think this may be Josh Allen's year. So I'm going to take the Bills. Forget the 1.5. I'm going to take the Bills flat out money line. So one of us is going to be right, and I hope we're both right on the remainder of that. But I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just trying to will Josh Allen to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But that's where I am with it.
Do you think the winner of this game from the AFC, do you think they'll get to the Super Bowl, or do you think they'll be in the other game Sunday?
I think if Denver wins, I don't think they make it. I think if Buffalo wins, I think they've got a real shot because Buffalo's already taken on New England. And of course, they lost the first game, but then they clapped back that second game and looked really good doing it.
And they lost to Houston.
Yes, they did lose to Houston. But I just think the clock is going to strike midnight on Vrabel and the Patriots. And I don't dislike. I mean, I actually like Coach Vrabel, and
I do too.
Drake May has been kind of this year's, coming out party, which, we've talked about this all year with Josh
Yeah.
McDaniel's offense. I knew this kid was going to cook. Nobody could have expected them to do what they've done,
Yeah.
but I knew they would be better than that 7.5 win total that they had at the beginning of the season. In fact, I hammered that,
Nice.
and I dropped some pizza money on New England to win the division. Didn't
There
expect it
you
to
go.
hit. Didn't expect it to hit, but buddy, it did, and that
Yes.
was nice little payout. But all that said, New England played the easiest schedule in the NFL this year.
Yep.
And I know if they go out and execute, doesn't matter who they play, they've got a chance to win. But I just think this Buffalo team is more battle tested.
Agreed.
New England's still playing with a little bit of new money. Even though that franchise historically, some guy named Brady some time ago won some games or something, I think. But
Yeah.
historically, it's very good. It's a very good franchise. But this is
It
not
is.
the New England team from those years ago. Nothing about this team is the same. So
Yeah.
they're new money, so to speak.
Agreed.
So it's got to it's Super Bowl or bust for Josh Allen this year. I
It
just think
is.
that's the case. I don't see the Chiefs being terrible next year. I don't know what's going to happen in Baltimore with the coaching change,
Right.
and hopefully somebody in Cincinnati, for Bengals fans' sake, hopefully somebody there figures out a way to bring in some talent on that defense with the
Yeah.
salary issues they're facing, paying their offense so much money. But until they fix that, they're not. I don't care how many points they score; they are not going to win anything in the postseason. That defense is atrocious. So,
Yeah.
but I feel like this is it. Like if Josh is going to do
Agreed.
it, gotta go. You got to get through whatever combination of these two teams he's going to face, and at least make an appearance in the Super Bowl.
Agreed.
All right, so the second game on the slate for Saturday, 8:00 kick, 8 East, 7 Central. It's going to be the San Francisco 49ers traveling to the Pacific Northwest to go in, take on the 12th man and the Seattle Seahawks. The line in this game is Seattle -7. The total in this game is 44.5. Josh, what do you see?
Well, so far I got 2 plays in this game. To be determined, I may have a third play. So first play, we're going back to the well from the last game. We're going to go with the under on this one. First play under 44.5. I just think both defenses are going to ball out like they did last game in Week 18, and it's going to be a real low scoring game. And I just think both offenses are going to have a tough time scoring. So I like the under 44.5 with my first play. Second play, we are going with a player prop. So we are going, let's see if they have it. Let's see what it's at. Yeah, second play, we are going with Christian McCaffrey over 16.5 rushing attempts. I just think the 49ers want to have any success on offense. They're going to have to give it to Christian McCaffrey early and often, and I think that can open up the passing game. So I like CMC over 16.5 rushing attempts. You can get that at plus money, plus 101. And with the third play to be determined, I'm waiting to see if I can get the hook on this one. I am going to be on the 49ers plus 7.5 if I can get the 7.5 from this one. I just think division game in the playoffs, I just think this is going to be a one possession game. So give me the 49ers to cover if I can get a 7.5 in this one.
All right. Well, I don't think I have to tell you where my heart is in this game. I also think the 49ers cover this game. I'm with you. I would love to add that hook on there, but we'll play it where it sits. That said, I've already got it in a teaser. I'm trying to look and see what. Here we go. There's like 30 gazillion plays you can make off this on this these games, the playoff games. There's always way more than regular season. So on FanDuel, 6.5. Looks like minus 128. So it's not a terrible price if you wanted to go with buying that up. Oh, excuse me, that's 6.5. We're looking for 7.5. Hang on. Sorry, my bad. Hey, it's live TV radio. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Told you there's a gazillion. Like there's everybody's, props, and then there's alt props for everybody, and then there's the 10, 15, 20, 30-yard reception. Same thing on rushing, the alt passing and rushing. I mean, there's so many, dude. There are so many props. Here we go. My bad. Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. I was reading the header, but the column is flipped. So where it looked like it was San Francisco, that was actually Seattle. And then I was like, man, they got the plus and minus wrong. No, I just can't read. The 7.5 is minus 136. So it's a little bit more expensive than I first thought. So yeah, I'm with you. Maybe that gets bet. Back up. It was, I think it opened. Let me see what I got it at. Let me log in my other account that I may or may not have.
Gotcha.
And see what I got. Hofstra, golly, what are you doing? I just knew Hofstra was going to cook Stony Brook tonight, and they just absolutely failing to board it. I got I just had 2 underplays. I didn't actually bet the side yet. Okay, so never mind. So I'll have to get in there with you. I'll have to get in the hope line on that on that 7.5. So yeah, but I like the Niners here. I tend to agree with the under, though. I'm going to hold off on, because I got it at 46 or 47. I got a lot better number on the total, and I went under.
That's good.
So it's definitely been bet down, but
yeah,
I may jump in on a live play once I kind of see how it looks like this game flow is going to go, because I do see a scenario where there are points.
Yeah.
Fred Warner was limited participant in practice yesterday.
Is there a chance he'll play?
I think there's a chance. I don't think it's likely.
Right.
But I think there's a chance, and I think that's going to be 100% left up to Fred Warner. Because if there was any threat, I think, of him further injuring, then he wouldn't be out there at all.
Right.
So I think it's going to be, A, how does he feel? B, how much pain tolerance, can he have? But I can promise you this, if it's at all possible that he can get on that field, he will. And if Fred Warner plays, then I think that changes the dynamic for that defense on San Francisco's side. And that defense played pretty well down the stretch, even with all of the injuries that they've had. And they, I called it last week. The Niners, forget the points. Niners going to win outright in Philly. And they did. I think the Niners can win this game outright. Forget the points. So in addition to betting whatever the spread settles at, or whatever I decide to buy it at and maybe parlay it, dude, I'm dropping another, $25 or so Niners outright, because this is a division opponent. They've played twice in the regular season. They split. The Niners beat them week 1. I know week 1 was a long time ago, Josh, but there's not going to be surprises in this game. Both teams are going to know what the other is going to want to do. And with that said, because we all know that Christian McCaffrey is the lifeblood of this offense. I really like Josh Purdy over 227.5 yards passing. I think they're going to struggle to some degree to run the ball consistently.
Yeah.
I think they'll continue to try. So I think your play of over 16.5 rush attempts is good. I would be a little hesitant to bet over on yardage.
Yeah.
But Kyle Shanahan knows he can't abandon the run. He can't let Brock Purdy drop back and throw it 45 times. They have to establish some sense of run game to keep this defense honest. But with that said, I think it's going to open up some opportunities for Purdy. And I know Kittle's out. He just had surgery today to repair the torn Achilles, which is horrible that he's out. But Tonjes has stepped up and played really well in his absence. We saw Demarcus Robinson make an appearance last week and, pop off for 2 touchdowns. We've seen Jawan Jennings throw a touchdown. This offense is very dynamic. They can hurt you a lot of different ways. And as much as I love Kittle and as important as he is to the running game with his mentality of blocking like a bulldozer, I still think this pass game can cook. And not that Seattle really has any weakness, but I think you could attack them more on the back end easier than you can on the front. So I like Purdy to have a pretty decent, 240, 250 range passing. And I was really surprised that this total is as low as it is, given his performances over the past 4 or 5 weeks when this offense has been absolutely on fire. So love Brock Purdy over 227.5.
And Hammer, you were speaking of Tonjes. He actually caught the game-winning pass in Week 1 in Seattle.
He actually did. It's funny. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because everybody was like, "Who?" He's a Seahawk killer. There's only 3 things to do in Seattle: that show up, whip the Seahawks' ass, and leave. So we did it Week 1. We started their season with a loss. We need to end their season with a loss.
Yeah.
So I love it. All right. Well, we touched on both these teams. On Sunday, the early game, 3 o'clock East, 2 Central, the Houston Texans are going to travel up to Foxborough, take on the fighting Mike Vrabels, the New England Patriots. Line in this game is 3. 40.5 is the total. We've got 2 pretty stellar defenses and 2 complete opposite ends of the spectrum offenses in this game. So, Josh, how are you feeling about this one? What do you like, and what are you going to put American money behind?
So I have actually 2 plays in this game. First play, we are taking the first half under in this game. I'm not going to take the full game under. So I just think first half, both teams are going to fill each other out, low scoring affair. So I played under first half 19.5 plus 105. That is currently on DraftKings. I just feel like both defenses clamp down in the first half and we get a low scoring affair. And for my second play, we are going to the side. We are taking the Texans +3 in this game. I just feel like Texans defense has been playing really good all season long. And I feel like that momentum, I know Stroud didn't play absolutely great against Pittsburgh, but I feel like he played good in some spots. And I feel like he's going to carry that on into Foxborough Sunday when they play the Patriots. And I just like this team to get it done against Mike Vrabel and the Patriots. I know Patriots have had a really great season. Vrabel could possibly get Coach of the Year. Drake May could possibly get MVP. But I just like the Texans +3 in this game.
Okay. I absolutely love the Texans defense. I think under full game for me as well is in play. I do like under 19.5. I think both these teams are. It's going to kind of be a little bit of a heavyweight fight. I think they're gonna feel each other out a little bit, and even with the cold weather, because it's typically not very cold in Houston ever. They also play indoors. Now they've got to go out in the elements, and what's probably going to be a very bitter cold, if not snowy day in Foxborough, Massachusetts. But defense travels, and this is possibly one of the elite defenses in the NFL, one of the better defenses we've probably seen in quite some time. I'm not saying they're the 85 Bears or anything, but this defense is pretty solid top to bottom, every level, as the Pittsburgh Steelers found out last week. What I am concerned about, however, is the quarterback. C.J. Stroud came out his rookie year and kind of did what they did this year, won 10 games, won the division, made the playoffs. Or, well, they didn't win the division. They went as a wild card this year, sorry. Kind of played with his hair on fire. And then the past couple seasons, we've kind of seen a steady decline in his play. And then Monday night, he had 5 fumbles in that game. Now, granted, they only lost 2, and one of them was a bad snap from a fresh center that I'm trying to toot my own horn here, but I tweeted that out. Like, not good to have a fresh center come in this situation, and damned if he didn't snap the ball when C.J. Stroud wasn't even looking for it. But 5 fumbles, lost 2, and then he threw the horrible interception. The defense outscored Pittsburgh in this game. They could have took a knee 3 downs and punted, and the defense still would have won 14-6. So I don't think you can expect another 2 touchdown performance out of your defense. So the offense is going to absolutely have to do something in this game. Pay attention to the weather. I think that's going to be a huge indication of how I'll bet this. If there's bad weather, if it's frigid cold, if there's wind, I'm taking New England. If it's sunny and not terribly cold, no snow, no wind, then I might consider Houston in that spot. But I'm very concerned about the offense for Houston, because there's one thing that Vrabel can do. He can take away your best player. And right now, there is no Nico Collins. Christian Gonzalez is questionable. Both of them had concussions, but Gonzalez is further along in his recovery than Nico Collins is. He had more time, number one. And 2, it wasn't as bad. Nico, that was nasty when he did that header down into the turf. But if there's no Nico Collins, I don't know that Houston has really any other threat in the pass game, other than maybe Dalton Schultz. New England's not great against the tight end, so that could be an option for C.J. Stroud. So New England will just stack. They'll just put 7-8 men on the line of scrimmage and make C.J. Stroud beat them. And I don't know that C.J. Stroud can beat this New England Patriots team. So probably leaning pretty heavily on the New England side. The weather will be a huge factor for me in how I actually play that, but love the under in this game all the way around. First half, total. Maybe even look at team totals. I haven't done that yet. I may look into that. Again, weather will have a lot to do with what I do with that game. But I really don't like any props in this game, to be honest, because I just don't know what we're going to see from Mother Nature. So I'm staying away from props in this one. If something just exciting, fascinating play comes across my plate, then I'll share that, but nothing right now that I'm interested in from a prop standpoint. So anything else, Josh, with Houston and New England before we move on?
No, nothing else.
All right. So the The final game of the weekend will be the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Chicago Bears Sunday night, 6:30 East, 5:30 Central. Line in this game is 3.5. The total is 48.5. Josh, it looks like the California kids are going to have to go play on the frozen tundra of Soldier Field.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, what's the current weather situation for this game Sunday?
My understanding is cold. Let me get you a little bit more descriptive, answer than that. Give me just a second here, and I'll give you current situation for Saturday.
Because I wanted to see if it
should be Sunday.
was going to be. I wanted to see if it was going to be snow or no snow.
Let's see. This game is going to be 6:30 East, so there is a 20% chance of snow. It's going to be around 20 degrees and 20-mile-an-hour winds out of the west. Sun will already be down at kickoff for this game. Not pleasant. Not pleasant conditions.
I was thinking about playing the under, but I still think I'm going to play it. 48.5, you said, is the over-under?
Yeah, 48.5. It has come down. It has come down. It was 51.5 is where it opened.
Yeah. Would like it much better at 51 or 50. I'll lean under, but my other play in this game, I like the Bears catching 3.5 at home. I just feel like they're destined to get to the Super Bowl. And like I said a few minutes ago, all their games come down to the last possession of the game. And there's something about this team that, like I said, they're destined to get to the Super Bowl. So give me Chicago catching plus 3.5 at home against Stafford and the Rams. And I know I get it. Caleb Williams paints his fingernails and all this, and people talked about that on draft day and shit. He's a great quarterback. The kid can ball. I'll give him that. He's a winner. So yeah, give me Bears plus 3.5 against the Rams.
All right. No, I agree. And I was one of those people that was critical, not making fun of him, critical in like, what are you focused on? What's really important? You really want to play football? Do you really want to be an NFL quarterback? Are you mature enough to be a leader of men in a locker room full of millionaires? And I didn't know that he was. And, his rookie season, the offensive line didn't help him out very much. His head coach was horrible. Should have been fired 2 years ago. It's funny, he just got fired from his job in Dallas, went to be the defensive coordinator, because everybody said, but he's a great defensive coordinator. Did you see Dallas's defense this year? So he was one and done there, so he just sucks, period. Needs to go coach junior college ball or something. Anyway, I digress. Got on that Matt Eberflus kick there. And then this season, with Ben Johnson working his magic with Caleb Williams. And granted, Josh, he doesn't have like gaudy stats, right? It's not like he's going out there and throwing for 350 and 3, rushing for 50, 75 yards a game. It's not been that. They have very much so been a run-first team with DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monunga. But Caleb's done enough, and he's made enough plays, and he's made throws that he's needed to make. And some of his ball placement, dude, is outstanding. Like it is. It's MVP caliber type throws that he's making. And then when they've needed him to go out there and throw for a ton of yards, like they did in the Green Bay game when he ends up with, well over 300 yards passing, he's able to do that too. So I agree with you to some degree. It's almost like this team is kind of destined for greatness and destined to win, NFC championships, maybe even Super Bowl championships. But on the opposite sideline is most likely the MVP, and that's quarterback of the Rams, Matthew Stafford. And understand, I am a diehard Niners fan. I hate Seattle. I hate the Rams. I don't have to worry about the Cardinals. I hate these teams. I don't ever want to say anything nice about these teams. This Rams team is no joke. Their front seven is as good as there is in football. Vol for life, of course. Byron Young on that front four. If there's a place they can be beat, it is in the secondary. And we saw Carolina kind of expose that a little bit. And that was Bryce Young, who granted also has grown quite a bit from about the, midway, 2/3 of the way through the season last year. Dave Canales flipped a switch on him or something, and he started getting it. So Rams burned me last week because I had them blowing out the Panthers. So that just didn't happen. The Panthers were live in that game right up until the end, and it took some heroics from the Rams offense to pull that out. And I know it's going to be cold, and it looks like it's going to be windy. I love Kyron Williams over 61.5 rushing yards. Love that play because they're going to have to feed these. You've got two teams with two starting caliber running backs in Kyron Williams and Blake Corum for the Rams. Already mentioned Swift and Monangai for the Bears. So both of these teams can run the football effectively. The problem is that plays right into the strength of this Rams defense. And as much improved as the Bears' offensive line has been, they brought in a couple veterans. They drafted a couple players in the draft. Those guys have been able to, for the most part, they've been able to play pretty well throughout the season together. That same group had a ton of injuries. But, man, this Rams front is just special. And I think they're going to have a little bit more of a challenge running the ball than what the Rams are. So I still think there could be points in this game. I bet the over. I bet all these games on Monday. So that's why my numbers are a little wonky. I bought it down a little bit. I took the total over 49, and I also took the total in a teaser over 45. And then here we sit right now with the total at 48.5. And I'm like, well, I didn't really get any value because it came down because of the weather. I think that's what everybody's expecting. I'm telling you, these two teams can score without throwing for 300 yards by these quarterbacks. Both of these teams' run games are extremely talented. I just think the Rams have the edge because that's the strength of their defense, is stopping the run. So I hate you, Rams. Not you, Josh. I love you. I hate you, Rams. I don't want to see you win shit. But I think they're going to pull this one out. I don't think that Caleb Williams' heroics at the end of the game is going to be enough because I don't know that he's going to be in a position for it to be able to come back and throw 150, 200 yards in the second half because of the weather conditions. More than likely, and I do this sometimes, I will just randomly throw out, I think there's going to be a defensive touchdown. I'm going to bet. There's going to be a defensive special teams touchdown in this game. I just kind of feel it. Not encouraging you to do that, anybody. I'm just telling you I'm going to do that because I think this weather sets up for some goofiness. And again, pay attention because that's today, right now. 20-mile-an-hour winds, 20 degrees, snow flurries, 20% chance of snow. It might snow like hell from now until kickoff, and there'll be a foot of snow on the ground. We've seen that happen in Chicago. So, again, weather's going to be a big factor in this game. But if everything holds true and it plays out the way it looks like it's going to, that's what I see happening. I love Kyron Williams over rushing yards. I still think we're going to see some points, and I guess the Niners are going to have to beat the Rams again in the NFC Championship game because I think the Rams are taking this from the Bears. And I'm sorry, Mr. Gabriel, Chris Gabriel, big Chicago fan. I hate it, but I just don't think they're quite ready. They will get there. I just don't think it's this year. So, sorry, Bears fans. Give me the Rams cover -3.5. So, Josh, anything else in the world of the NFL you want to talk about, or
You're forgetting the biggest game, Hammer.
NFL
Monday,
game?
the college football championship game.
Oh no, I just meant NFL. Oh yeah, that's what
No,
we're moving to.
no, none in
So,
NFL.
right, all right. So you got nothing else
Yeah,
NFL? Then
no.
the stage is set. If you would have told me, Josh, 3-4 years ago that the national championship game in 2026 was going to be between Indiana and Miami, I'd have told you you're crazy.
Yeah.
But hello, NIL.
We got an all Adidas national championship.
All Adidas national championship. Josh, who was the last team to win a national championship that sported Adidas gear?
That would be your and my Tennessee Volunteers.
That's right. 1998 BCS national champion Tennessee Volunteers
Yes.
sporting the Adidas. So
Yep.
it's been a long time. Not that that matters because nobody cares really, right? But it's kind of a
Yeah.
cool fact that the
It
national
is.
champion this year will sport Adidas, and that's what we're going to be putting on in the fall.
Yep.
So pretty cool. But anyway, fashion aside, this Indiana team has been a machine, dude. What if anything
Yes.
can Miami do to win this game or even be in this game? It's 8.5-point spread.
Yep. Well, I got 4 plays in this game. You ready for them?
Yeah, man.
First play, we are going with Miami plus 8.5. I just feel like both teams, it's going to be a one possession game, and I feel like it's going to be a really good game from start to finish. I just don't see this Indiana team beating Miami by almost 2 possessions, and I get it. Indiana whipped the dog out on Alabama, then they whipped the dog out on Oregon. This team, like you said, Hammer, they're just a machine, and they're kicking ass and taking names, but I feel like Carson Beck and not Miami defense is going to have something to say and not get totally embarrassed on national TV Monday. So give me the Hurricanes plus 8.5.
Okay.
Second play kind of correlates to my third and fourth play. We're going with the over 47.5. I feel like this is going to be a track meet game back and forth between teams because we saw it in the game against Ohio State and Miami. When Ohio State went fast pace, they scored against Miami. When Ole Miss did that against Miami, they scored. So I expect Indiana to go a little bit fast at times against Miami's really good defensive front and good defensive unit and score. And I expect Carson Beck in Miami to put points up against Indiana as well. I just feel like the over is a really good play in this game, over 47.5. And that gets me to my third and fourth play. Indiana team total over 27.5 and Miami team total over 18.5. I feel like both lines are really short, and I know a lot of people like the under because both defenses are really good. I just feel like this is going to be an over game. Both offenses dominate in this game, start to finish. So that's what I got.
All right. Give me those numbers for the team totals again. I'm sorry.
27.5 for Indiana and 18.5 for Miami.
All right. Well, we saw Indiana go into Eugene, Oregon back in
Yep.
week one, remember, and you and I talked about that game at length that I sat here and swore to you that that was going to be the end of the Cinderella run, that Oregon was going to end Indiana's dream season, right?
Yeah.
And all Indiana did was overcome a pick six by Fernando Mendoza to go in the hole early and come out and win that game. And then the rematch in the playoffs, everybody's like, oh, well, I think Oregon gets them again. It's tough to beat a team twice.
Yeah.
Well, here's what, and I went over this, unfortunately, without you that day. But I said, that game earlier in Eugene, Oregon was a 7.5-point favorite. Well, this time around, Indiana was a 3.5 or 4.5-point favorite, depending on where and when you got your number. So I'm sitting there going, well, that tells me that Vegas thinks that Indiana is at least an 11-point better team than they were when they played them the first time, and they beat them the first time. So there was no way I was taking Oregon in that game, and then Indiana proceeded to go out there and beat the ever-living shit out of them. So I said then, I am not getting in front of this Indiana team. There's no way that you can bet against Kurt Cignetti, Fernando Mendoza. They have the best lines of scrimmage, yes, plural, lines of scrimmage in college football. Miami is very good on both sides of the ball as well, especially the defensive side. Their D-line is tough. My issue is at some point we all swore we were going to see the old Carson Beck show up. Right, the one that kind of got him ran out of town in Georgia. It hasn't happened yet. In fact, if you go back, if you look at Miami's path through this playoff, they open up with Texas A&M, and it is a damn rock fight. That game is 3-3 going into about midway through the fourth quarter, and finally, Miami breaks through, gets into the end zone. They win that game 10-3. Defense was outstanding. They kept that high-powered A&M offense in check. They kept Marcel Reed in check. They flexed their muscles on the line of scrimmage with Texas A&M. Then they go and take on Ohio State, and everybody just expected Ohio State was just going to plow through them. That didn't happen. Then they take on Ole Miss, which a lot of people were surprised. Lane Kiffin's gone. There's turmoil. The team pulled together. Credit Pete Golding. I did not expect him to be this good of a head coach. Alabama people, they couldn't run him out of town fast enough as their defensive coordinator. And then now he's taken a team that their coach abandoned them again. Sounds familiar. I think I've heard this story before. And ushers them to the semifinal of the CFP. Totally different team than what they've seen. Trinidad Shambliss, complete baller. Ole Miss offense, high octane, fast paced. Ole Miss defense, they bend, they don't break. Miami went in there and traded scores. They traded scores. There was like 4 or 5 lead changes in this game. And Carson Beck, drive for drive with Trinidad Shambliss. And they come out getting the last score, and the defense holds. Miami has played every type of game you can play in this playoff. So every reason in the world points to, yeah, Miami should be able to keep this a one-score game. I'm with you on points. I think there's going to be some scoring in this game. I think we're going to see a little bit more of what we saw with Miami and Ole Miss. We know Indiana can put points up against anybody.
Yep.
And I think we're going to see points in this game. So give me the over. It's I don't know what it is on DraftKings, on FanDuel. It's
-47.5.
Yep, it's -105 at 47.5. So I'm kind of scratching my head a little bit going, whoever's betting all this under, have you seen Miami and Indiana play this year? I'm just wondering. This game screams over to me. As good as both these defenses are, Indiana's offense can carry a lot of that weight by themselves. I mean, I think they covered the over against Oregon last game. by themselves, okay? So Indiana can put points up against anybody. If we get the same Carson Beck we got against Ole Miss, Miami's going to be right there trading punches with them, I think, until it gets down towards the latter part of the game. And regardless of how much Indiana wins by, I do think Indiana wins this game. They complete their story. They win their first ever national championship. And, Kurt Signetti will have a statue built for him probably right beside Coach Corso's. I mean, honestly, because nobody's ever done it there. I do like both team totals over. I'm with you on that. I think Indiana easily gets to 28 points. I don't see any reason why Miami can't get to, maybe 24. I mean, Oregon put some points up against Indiana. It happened later in the game after Indiana had a very full lead.
Yeah.
But Oregon was able to get some points. I think Miami can do
the same.
I just can't get in front of this Indiana train, man. I
Yeah.
just can't. And I have beat the Miami drum all year. I don't know if you remember midway through the season. I told you Miami was the best team, most complete team that we have in college football at that point.
Did you take any of their futures?
I did not. I was not on them in any way, shape, or form earlier preseason. I didn't. Now, when we rolled around when we got the playoff bracket, I was on them. I was on them loudly and a lot.
Nice.
And think about this too, Josh. If you really want to look at it, it's a 12-team playoff, right? Miami was number 10, but let me tell you something. Miami was the last team in this bracket.
They were,
because the two Group of 5 champions, we knew they were going to get in, right? So it came down to Miami, Notre Dame, and BYU.
Yep.
And all the Notre Dame people were screaming, and then of course BYU. The only 2 games that BYU lost this year were to the number 4 seed in the college football playoff. They lost to Texas Tech regular season. They lost to Texas Tech in the conference championship game. So if anybody should have been pissed, it should have been BYU. Notre Dame getting the freaking conference and play somebody. Quit playing the Little Sisters of the Poor and a down Stanford and a somewhat down USC team, the service academies. Play a damn Power 4 schedule worthy of putting you in the playoff. Get in the conference.
If you wanted to make the playoffs, you should have beat Texas A&M or Miami.
Exactly, because you had the opportunity to do both those things. So for you to sit there and say you should be in over Miami is a bunch of horse shit, because you couldn't even beat Miami on the field. You couldn't beat Texas A&M on the field. So shut up. BYU had a complaint. But of the 3 teams, Miami was the best team. Lo and behold, the committee got it right, because here we sit with the number 10 seed in the playoff. The last team to get in is playing for a national championship. So they absolutely got this one right. And I think, Josh, out of everybody in the field, all of the other 11 teams, this is the team that's going to give Indiana the best game of any of them. And I still think Indiana's going to win it. But this will be the most competitive team that Indiana will have faced in the postseason. And that includes the Suckeyes in the Big Ten championship, because Miami proved that in the second round when they sent a Suckeyes packet.
Hammer, let me ask you something. What would you say Indiana's odds were to win the national championship preseason?
Dude, I think they were somewhere in the plus 1,400.
In some places, they were 100 to 1. In other places, they were 160 to 1.
Man, just think if you just threw $10 on that.
Yeah.
It was $1,000.
Yep.
That's why I love betting preseason long shots. Because you never know.
Yeah.
Just like New England at a win total of 7.5 ends up winning the division. The Buffalo Bills were the only team in the NFL that was a preseason betting favorite to win their division. And when I say betting favorite. That means the only team that had minus odds to win their division. Everybody else was plus money. The Bills were minus like 230.
Yeah.
So nobody expected the Patriots to come out of here. But the Patriots were a long shot to win that division. That's when you throw $10 on it or whatever your pizza money number is. You throw that on it because this is what happens right here. This Indiana's on the precipice of cashing out some of these people that threw, $25 on a play, and they're going to end up winning $2,500 if Indiana pulls this off. So that's why I'm so big on betting futures preseason, tickets. So all that said, Indiana's going to win this game. I kind of like Miami's chances of keeping it close, but they've only had like one or two close games all year. And if there's a coach in this great country of ours that can get a team up and ready and focused to play one single game, it's Kurt Cignetti. And I've been a big critic of Mario Cristobal. I was when he was at Oregon. I was very critical of it when they hired him in Miami. I never thought he'd be in this position. So my apologies, Mario. I know you're a big fan of the show. He's going to get out coached in this game. Fernando Mendoza is a better quarterback. He is a leader of men. He has that offense's full respect and trust, and they're better on both sides of the line of scrimmage. I can't bet against him. I guess I'm going to have to take Indiana, cover the number. They can easily win this game by double digits. Possibly could even blow out this team if they get some big plays on defense, some turnovers.
Yeah.
Special teams, whatever. They're a machine. They're a train. I can't step in front of it. So give me the hosers.
I don't blame you there.
All right, my friend. Anything else that we need to dissect?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the only college basketball game.
Oh, yeah. How silly of me.
Important to us Saturday. That would be Tennessee, Kentucky. And you're going to be on with your Kentucky friends here in about 30 minutes on the Border Rivals Heavy Four Sports Podcast.
Yes, sir.
So what do you think happens in this game Saturday against Kentucky? You start.
I think it's going to be more of what we saw against A&M. I think it's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be a rock fight. Neither one of these teams are very good. Let's just be honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay? Both of these teams right now, I think, are barely above the bubble in the tournament. Both teams have trouble not turning the ball over. Both have struggled from the field. Kentucky has gone on several minutes of games without scoring. Tennessee has trouble, I feel like, sometimes even running sets. Turnovers to assist ratio is way out of whack. We've struggled at the free throw line. We haven't had a consistent scorer outside of Jacoby Gillespie. And my God, he can't play 38 minutes a game. He played 40. He played almost 50 minutes in that game Tuesday night until he fouled out. I mean, that cat's not sustainable. We can't keep running this young man in the ground like this. He's got to have some help. We don't have a two guard at all. We don't have a backup point guard worth of shit. And I trust Rick Barnes completely. This is not a knock on Coach Barnes at all. It's a knock on what in the hell are we doing sometimes. I don't know if this team just hasn't learned how to play together. I don't know if they trust each other. I don't know if they have developed enough chemistry to know where everybody's going to be on the court. We wasted Nate Amint's coming out party game against Florida. Thank God that he had another one Tuesday night, because when Gillespie went out, T and I were on for a kind of a watch party thing, and I told him then, with Gillespie out, I mean, he's going to score.
Yeah.
So thank God Nate Ament was able to kind of grow in the moment. Literally, he grew up in that moment, and he stepped up big time. And we need more of that. We need more of that Nate Ament out there. We need to see Felix Okpara have more than 4 points and 2 rebounds. We need JP Estrella to be aggressive and play at the level that we've seen him and he is capable of playing, because we can push around this Kentucky front court. Jalen Carey's a beast.
Yep.
There's even Mo Diabate can't guard Estrella consistently. So everything's there for Tennessee to win this game. But we got to stop beating ourselves, man. We got to stop turning the ball over. We've got to start playing with some continuity and some chemistry.
If you had to make a guess, what do you think the line will be in the game Saturday?
I think it'll be probably very short, 1.5, 2.5 points, because they're both terrible at this point.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a low total, somewhere in the 140s, and I think we're going to see a very short under 3.5. I think max. I don't think you can give either one of these teams more than that in a spread.
Yeah.
I bet LSU last night to cover 4.5, and I was kind of ragging Rando all throughout the game, and then Moreno makes that miracle shot at the end, and I'm going to bust his balls about that here in a little bit. I got something laid up for him on that. I'm going to celebrate his win for him.
But you still got your cover, though.
But yeah, got my cover, and I've got a little something I'm going to drop on him that he'll
I can't wait to watch.
He'll both appreciate and hate me for.
Nice.
I'm going with Tennessee at home just because they're at home. Okay, that's the only reason I can give you why I think Tennessee can win this game. If Kentucky shoots the way they did, who they play the other? Mississippi State. If they shoot the way they did against Mississippi State, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
So it's almost like we have to count. We have, and understand our defense is still really good, right? Because we held A&M, who was averaging 93 points a game. They played fast. They scored a lot of points. We held them to 60-something points in regulation. So our defense is good. It's not Jemai and Zakai and Jordan good.
Yeah.
But it's still good, right? They're the number 2 defense, I think, in the SEC, or number 1 defense in the SEC. A&M was the number 2 offense, sorry. So we're still very good defensively. I'll tell you who's going to win this game, Josh. It's whichever team doesn't beat themselves, because that's what both these teams have done all season.
Yep.
Both these teams have beat themselves. So whoever doesn't beat themselves is going to win the game. And right now, to be honest, I trust Kentucky to not do that more than I do us.
Same.
But give me the Vols money line, because I don't trust the points, and I don't give a shit what the under or the number is for the total. Give me the under.
Yeah, Hammer, I feel the same way. What you just said, you nailed it perfectly. Give me the under in this game as well. And I think Tennessee on the money line, whatever it is, because I do not trust Tennessee to cover against Kentucky at home, because we know, like you said, whoever does not beat themselves is going to win this game, and I trust Kentucky more than Tennessee to do that. So with that being said, I feel like a guy who has been playing really well coming off the bench the last few games, getting minutes, is Troy Henderson. He's done really, really good. Shot the ball good, defended pretty decently. And another guy I want to see possibly get more minutes and step up is Masamba. I know Rick has probably already cut his rotation down, but I think Masamba could produce some decent minutes for Tennessee.
Yeah, he was very highly touted and hyped up. So I thought we would have seen him more on the floor. So for him not to be playing, there's something that he's not getting and doing in practice that satisfies
Yeah,
Coach Barnes. So again, if there's any coach on that campus over there that I trust, it's him. So if he's
yeah.
not playing him, there's a reason.
Do you think our bigs should be able to score pretty decently against Kentucky Saturday?
Absolutely. We should be able to push them around in the front court. But if we turn the ball, if we have 3 times the turnovers as we do assists
Yeah,
that we've been kind of doing,
we're
then
in
it's not going to
trouble.
matter because we can't get them the
Yeah,
ball. They can't score.
yeah,
I mean, and when we do get them the ball, hell, Felix Okpara can't put it in the basket standing 2 feet away from it.
yeah,
I'm like, buddy, I don't know if anybody's told you this. You're 7 feet tall. Dunk the
yeah.
damn ball. Quit
Dunk the ball.
trying to tap it in. This is not Happy Gilmore. Do not tap
Yeah,
it in. Flush it.
yeah,
Put that thing through the floor. Stop with the nonsense. Jalen Carey should just bulldoze anybody on that front court. I want to see bigs involved early and often. I would love to see us start big with Estrella, Okpara, and Carey all on the floor for the first, whatever TV timeout or rotation time because Brown
yeah.
can come in and play. At least 1 or 2 of those guys can play more than 3 or 4 minutes at a time.
Right.
Rotate somebody out, bring Brown in, and then start some rotation stuff. But start big. Set the tone early.
Agreed.
Play bully ball against them. There's nobody on that team that can move Jalen Carey out of the lane. Nobody. There's nobody that can guard J.P. Estrella straight up. I want to see the bigs involved. If they don't get the bigs involved in this game and we try to get into a perimeter shootout game with Kentucky, we're going to lose.
Yeah.
Because at some point, law of averages says Kentucky's going to start hitting shots. And I promise you, we've seen it before. They can shoot terrible like they did. And then come in here and shoot 75% and 50% from 3 and beat us by 30. That's what we can't allow to happen.
That happened last year when they played us here.
Exactly. They jumped on us with both feet, and we never recovered. We cannot allow them to start hot and get hot because we ain't built to come back like that. We need to control the pace. We need to set the tone with physicality and, post play. And we need to play lockdown defense and not give up easy kick-out threes that Kentucky always seems to beat us with.
And a question I have for you, he's been shooting it at a really high clip this season, but he doesn't take a lot of three-pointers. Why do you think Bishop Boswell is scared to take open threes? Do you think it's because Rick's like, if you take a bad three, I'm going to yank you out of the game, or do you think he's just like nervous to take more threes?
I don't think Bishop Boswell is afraid of a running chainsaw coming at him. I think that kid is just as tough as they come. But I think it's what you said in the latter part.
It's a wide open.
He knows. Yeah, he knows that if he takes too many of those and can't hit them, then he's going to sit down. Because again, we don't have a true number 2 guard.
Yeah,
we don't have a second scorer in the backcourt. So I think that's probably part of it. I think it's a little bit of a mental thing with Bishop in that sense. But we got to find a scorer outside of Gillespie. And even if a Mint starts putting in 17, 20, 22 a game, we still got to have somebody else that can score. And Jalen Carey has shown flashes of that. I think Estrella's capable of that. We saw him early in the season get to double digits by midway through the first half. So we've got guys that can, but there's too many other issues going on with running plays and sloppy ball handling, turnovers. Stepping on the boundary, with the ball. I mean, I've seen so many things that just frustrate me to no end. And we were so spoiled, man. We were so spoiled with Sakai Ziegler and Jemai Meshack and Jordan Gainey and the rest of, the guys that we had for so long.
We were.
They were so disciplined. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying this team isn't disciplined, because you don't play for Rick Barnes if you don't play disciplined ball.
Yeah.
But we offensively, we're the Keystone Cops out there. We just cannot consistently handle the ball, not turn the ball over. Free throw shooting has been atrocious.
Yep.
And I don't know how much of that you can fix in season. Like, I really don't.
True.
So it's a hope and a prayer right now for anything significant in the postseason. We literally have to take this one game at a time and hope for the best. And I know hope's not a plan, but right now that's all we got, because we ain't out there playing and we ain't out there coaching.
No.
So, yeah, ugly. It's going to be ugly.
Yeah, it's going to be an ugly game.
The only way this game is a blowout is if Kentucky, has the magic rando dust sprinkled on them and they are able to come in there and shoot the lights out of the gym. So,
yeah. Well, that's all I got, man.
All right, brother. Well, it was a lot of fun, as always. It's always great to it's always great just to be with you, man. Share space with you and talk.
Same with you as well.
Because man, you're just a great dude and a lot of good knowledge.
Thank you. You as well.
And I just enjoy the time. So appreciate you. Impromptu, last minute, no notice. Hey, Josh, you want to do this? Or you were like, hey, do you want to do a show? Well, I can't. Oh, Ashley's asleep. Do you want to do a show, Josh? Sure. Here we are. So thank you for that flexibility. And
no problem, man.
We will definitely hopefully get a little more consistent going forward. Still a lot of football left to play. Basketball season, we're starting the home stretch, if you can believe that. And then baseball is just around the corner. So still plenty of stuff for us to hash out and chop up for you.
Let's do a show next week if we can.
Oh, definitely. Definitely will. We'll try to get back on schedule.
Good.
So, all right,
Sounds
brother.
Good.
I love you. I will
love you too, man.
And I will catch up with you and everyone else soon. Don't forget, check out the Heavy Pour Sports Border Rivals podcast here in about 15 minutes. You're not going to want to miss this one. Love y'all. Go Vols.